Hey everyone, this is Christian from SuperKamiGuru9000, and I have an awesome interview for you today. I got RanmyakuJouten. Thank you for coming to the interview today, man.
Oh man, always a pleasure. It's definitely great.
Yeah, it's going to be a great interview. You have a really awesome channel, and you have a great fan base, and you make some great content. So what would someone see if they went to your channel today?
Definitely they'll see Yu-Gi-Oh videos. That's, I think, the core of my channel. But it also extends out to manga review, chapter reviews, mangas. I'm going to start doing anime reviews soon, because anime is one of those things that you have to have a lot of time to watch. And I was doing video games, but then one of my editing systems went down, so I don't do video games as much anymore. But I do reviews for it every now and then. It's been a while, but for the majority, you definitely see Yu-Gi-Oh! And chapter reviews.
What's some of the manga you're reviewing right now?
I review currently 4 manga, which would be Naruto, Bleach, Hitman Reborn, and Fairy Tail.
Hitman Reborn, that's something I haven't spent much time on. I know Manga Reader Z broke it down for me once, but it was like 6 months ago. What is that manga about?
Basically, Hitman Reborn is about a series of a kid named Tsunayoshi Sawada, and he's the next heir in line for this super powerful mafia organization called the Vangola family. And it just stems around him trying to handle his personal life and the mafia life. And he just doesn't want to be a part of the mafia, but he has to use the power of the mafia in order to protect his friends and family and stuff like that. So that's pretty much the gist of it.
Is he your standard shonen character, or does he actually have a little more depth to him than your standard Naruto or Luffy?
Well, the thing about him is it's weird because a lot of people don't like his character because he's very soft, timid, and shy at first. He still kind of is, but he's actually growing out of that, becoming more of a man-like figure, I guess you would say. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people just don't like the fact that he's like totally soft and a pushover. And then he does this whole, it's called Hyper Will Mode, where he just transforms and he becomes like this badass. So it's definitely not a typical shonen character, mm-hmm. but he's definitely getting to the point where he's more of a likable main character, you know.
Oh, it definitely sounds like a cool series and something I need to look into. I just barely have time to read manga, any extra manga anyway. You know, I'm pretty much a big, well, actually I don't follow Bleach, but I'm definitely a Naruto and One Piece tard, you could say. I love those series and I read them all the time. And Berserk and Gantz, those are probably my 2 serious series I like to follow.
Right.
So you also said that you like Yu-Gi-Oh! What kind of content on the Yu-Gi-Oh! Front would someone see if they checked out your channel?
They usually see duels, which is a battle between 2 players, and deck profiles. But I also do other things depending on how big or how serious the news is in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Universe. I'll put it out on my channel too.
So how do you get into Yu-Gi-Oh? Like, what's your story of getting into card battling?
In Yu-Gi-Oh, I mean, I've been playing it since it first came out when I was 10, so I got started off the anime. I remember I first watched the anime when I was really, really young, first episode, and it was just epic. And then after that, I started picking up some Japanese cards, and finally the American card game came out in 2002, I believe, and I just took off from there. Then after that, I just stopped playing for my whole tenure in high school, and then I came back about a year and a half ago, and that's when I started my channel.
Are you a big fan of the anime, or do you think you could do without it?
I mean, I could definitely do without it, but I am a fan of the anime.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of American viewers don't even know the first season of Yu-Gi-Oh! Didn't really have too much to do with card battling. It was kind of a more serious season, but the American audiences never even got it. My friend told me that, and I went and looked it up, and it's true.
Oh, yeah, the infamous Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 0, yeah.
Yeah,
that's what it's called. Yeah.
Oh, Season 0. Okay, I get that. Yeah, that makes sense. And taking it back to Naruto chapter reviews, I think the anime community lately has been asking a few questions, or I don't know, how would you say it? Accusing the anime community of being sort of boring with chapter reviews. Are you starting to hear that nowadays?
Oh yeah, I mean it's going all over the place, but I think just majority of the people have a misconception of chapter reviewers because all at the same time we're all reviewing something. So it's just, to me, it doesn't make no sense to, complain about somebody else's channel or say, they're doing reviews when you're doing reviews yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if you don't review the big 3, you're still a reviewer because you're reviewing other series as well.
I think, unfortunately, I don't necessarily mean unfortunately, but to get started, you kind of need to do some reviews and get your personality out there. There are other ways to do it, but obviously the most I don't want to say easy because it's not easy either. I mean, if someone said, I can give you a successful YouTube channel, all you have to do is make videos every Wednesday for the next year. You know, that's hard. That's not exactly an easy thing to do. And, yeah, you know, there are some reviewers out there. I'm not going to name anyone specifically because no one exactly comes to mind. But you can do a chapter review easily and not put much work into it. But I guarantee you probably won't get much views. And I think a lot of people would just think they can read the manga off to people and say, that was cool. And there's obviously way more to it than that. And a lot of people probably don't realize that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, some people might get lucky and get like a lot of views on one video, but if they continue that type of quality, people are gonna know, you know, how their channel is based and how their videos are done, and won't even watch their videos anymore. So they might have a couple of lucky videos, but in terms of consistency, it just wouldn't be there if they don't put out the quality.
I think you're absolutely right. Me and Corey, when we sit down to do our Naruto reviews, we have to have some jokes in there. We have like at least a 2-joke minimum. We have a whole structure we go by. And this is just because we want to make it entertaining for someone who maybe even isn't a huge Naruto fan. And I think that's something we really strive for and we're good at this point. And I think that's why me and yourself and maybe King of Lightning, some other up-and-coming chapter reviewers are seeing a lot of success because we have such unique personalities and we bring our own perspective to the manga. And I think that that's really important because if you have no personality in your videos, what is there to latch onto? Because everyone's talking about Naruto and One Piece. So, you know, you better find some way to make it interesting or no one's going to watch.
Yeah, that's definitely true. You got to be able to put your own flavor and personality into it. That's what separates you from everybody else.
Absolutely. Me and you are also part of a group called The Cloud Village. It's a collaborative channel with, 14 members, 12 members. I can't keep track right now. There's a lot of people in there. And this collab channel is something where we all just get on Skype and I guess shoot the shit and talk about certain subjects that kind of concern the anime community. And what's your experience in the Cloud Village so far?
Oh, man, the Cloud Village has been great. I mean, met a lot of great people in it. Definitely learned a lot about the whole community through them. So I don't think if I wasn't a part of the Cloud Village, I wouldn't be as nearly as successful. So I learned a lot from those guys.
Yeah, I know when me and Corey started monetizing our videos, which we started about 3 weeks ago, I immediately had a whole bunch of questions because I had never done it before. I didn't even know what I was doing. And I talked to Uber Hikari and he like walked me through it and helped me out. It's just amazing to have this YouTube resource and this community. I guess you could call it, excuse me. I guess you could call it a community within a community, but it's just really nice to be able to just get on Skype and talk to any one of, 12 other YouTubers that are doing kind of the same thing as you and just run some ideas by them and get some real feedback from the creative side and not just your fan base.
Yeah, definitely. And it helps out in terms of the competitive level, too, because you just don't want to lose to anybody if, you're trying to get up to the top. So with these other guys, and their channels are definitely nothing to play around with, it kind of keeps you on edge and putting that quality out there. Yeah,
it pushes you, but at the same time, these guys have your back.
Yeah,
and that's definitely the other thing that I think is really important because when I started out, I wasn't really part of a social group or, a group of people. I was just me and Corey because I didn't really think I needed to be social on YouTube because I had Corey, hey, Corey, what do you think of this? Oh, I like that. What do you think of that? Oh, I don't like that. Like that was my feedback. And I think I'm realizing now you have to be social. You have to be social on some level if you want to have a successful YouTube account. I think that that's very important. And a lot of people want to just hunker down in their little world, which is nice, but you really have to be social, I think, to see next level of success on your YouTube channel.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, YouTube is a form of social networking, so you have to be somewhat out there.
Absolutely. You were saying, one second. When we first started talking, you told me that you used to be a security guard. What was that like? That was probably a pretty interesting job.
Not necessarily. I was security for Random House Book Publishing, so it was a boring job, but it was a job nonetheless. I met a couple of celebrities there. Like I met not Tony Braxton. Excuse me. What's her name? Tyra Banks. Tyra Banks was there once. Regis from Regis and Kelly was there. R.O. Stein, creator of the Goosebumps. Seen him pass by. I seen JWoww from Jersey Shore. A couple of celebrities, but...
Did you pepper spray anyone or anything cool?
Oh no, definitely nothing like that. Those guys are really, really high class, have high amounts of adequate. So you really don't have to do anything but just walk around or stand your guard.
Yeah,
stand your post.
You're just checking IDs and whatnot. You're just going through procedure. Much. You're not beating up bad guys or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
So, what are some of your future plans for your channel right now?
Oh, I mean, I just got into the anime community a couple of months ago, so I definitely want to continue that. That definitely helped out a lot in terms of the fan base, increased my fan base by a lot, so I'm definitely going to keep that up. I'm going to start talking about more of anime, because I've been doing a lot of manga, so not so much anime, so I'm going to just jump into the anime side of things and take care of that. Keep up with the Yu-Gi-Oh, because that's the core of my channel. That's how I got started, and that's pretty much it. Talk about some video games every now and then that interest me, and continue on that.
Jouten, what are some of your accomplishments in the Yu-Gi-Oh world? Because I've heard that you're a competitive player as well as a content provider on YouTube.
Right. Nothing really big yet, because there are 2 major tournaments in the United States of America for Yu-Gi-Oh. There is the YCS, which is Yu-Gi-Oh! Championship Series, which is done once every month in different states all across the United States. And then there's the National Championship, which is once every year, and that's going to bring the national champion for the country, which would be the United States and Canada, because actually we just combined with Canada last year for that tournament. And the top 8 players go on to Worlds. So in terms of those 2 big tournaments, I haven't done anything yet. I mean, I've been to Canada and went to 1 YCS. My record was 5-3. But in terms of like locals, which would be like little small tournaments, I've definitely won a lot of those, and got a couple of top 16s in regionals, which is the top 16 players in that tournament. And in New York, there's usually anywhere from 300 to around 400 players in those tournaments. So,
what is the competitive feel at these tournaments? Is everyone nice to each other? Is there a little bit of contempt towards your fellow competitor in the Yu-Gi-Oh game, or is it a pretty fun, nerdy environment, or what's it like there?
Well, in Yu-Gi-Oh, it's really, I wouldn't say it's weird. It's something like you have to get used to. In the beginning of the tournaments, it's really friendly, and everybody's loose because it's the beginning. But once you get towards the end, and you're like right there, like let's say in tournaments in Yu-Gi-Oh, there's usually 8 rounds. And unless you're doing a YCS, then there's 10 rounds. But let's say if you're in a regional, there's 8 rounds, and you're currently undefeated. You're 8-0, and then you go into the top 8 matches, which is a playoff round matchup. Once you get to that point, people are going to be really serious and stern, and they're not going to joke as much. So once you get to the later rounds in Yu-Gi-Oh, people definitely tend to get stiff and serious.
Would you say they put on their poker face? It's kind of
like, definitely. They try to, at least. They try to. Not everybody's got the poker face.
You seem like a pretty confident guy. I bet you thrive in that sort of environment a little better than some other people.
I mean, I do love the competition, but Yu-Gi-Oh is a game based on luck. It doesn't matter how skillful you are. If your opponent opens up better than you do, then you can potentially lose that match. So it's just, you got to have fun. And at the end of the day, you have to remember it's a game, which a lot of people, unfortunately, just don't remember anymore.
Yeah, it's all about winning. It's a lot like the online world now. It's like what happened to fun single player. It's all about, going 53-2 on your first-person shooters and everything like that nowadays.
Yeah, camping in a corner in Call of Duty.
Yeah, camp in the corner. Or, just do some other cheap-ass, way to kill people. And it's not about who has the best strategy or who has the most fun. It's just, about your kill-to-death ratios and all that stuff, which is – it's cool if you're a competitive player, but it's not very fun for the casual fan, which is probably why Yu-Gi-Oh! Is so appealing, because it's not so I don't want to say it's not competitive, but if it's luck-based, anyone has a chance of winning. Yeah,
definitely for the core players, there's a lot of competitiveness, but for the people who are casual, could definitely have fun with it as well. And that's one of the major appealing points to Yu-Gi-Oh! That it appeals to both hardcore players and casual players.
Absolutely. I think when we were talking the other day, we were talking about how Yu-Gi-Oh's strategy of keeping it casual kind of keeps the audience that can enjoy the series a lot broader instead of just like the elite few who know how to work the system.
Right.
Jouten, you have some awesome intros on your videos. You have some quite a good editing skill. I think it was was it Hitman versus Fairy Tail? What was that video?
Oh yeah, the Versus video.
Yeah, that was very well made. Your script was excellent. Do you have a high tech skill level, or are you just a guy that loves to use a basic editor?
I mean, I wouldn't consider myself too high tech, but I do know how to use Sony Vegas Pro. Unfortunately, I no longer have the program because it just magically crashed down on me one day. Actually, the day after I did the Fairy Tale versus Him Reborn video, crashed down. But yeah, I mean, I would say I'm a basic editor. I just know how to do basic stuff. I wouldn't say I'm like anything near a movie director or anything like that.
Yeah, you're not trying to go for huge cinematography. You know, I think that is something I would like to see, though, is a little more quality in the sense of like how people choreograph their videos a little more visual appealing, because I personally am getting sick of watching people sit in front of their webcam and talk. But, you know, that's just kind of the way people express themselves on YouTube a lot of the time. So, but at the same time, you know, when there's people that are big YouTubers like Freddie and stuff who are really pushing the boundaries of video content, I hope that the anime community really takes it to heart to make some better quality content that's not just people sitting in front of their webcam, because that, even if someone has a great point, it just gets boring after a while. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've been by myself on YouTube for about a year and a half. For the whole Yu-Gi-Oh thing before I even joined the anime community. Mm-hmm. So when I was by myself, I really didn't have anybody to compare ideas to. So when I would sit down and watch videos, I kind of realized to myself that possibly the most important aspect of your video is the first 10 seconds. Because that's really going to have the people or your viewers decide whether or not they're going to sit down and watch it. So the first 10 seconds, if you could grasp their attention, they're most likely going to stay. And I decided just to go with the intros and stuff like that. Yeah,
they're definitely visually appealing, and they keep people interested, and they look very professional. Jouten, what are some of your favorite YouTubers right now?
I actually used to watch a lot of different YouTubers, but I just felt like their content just kind of flew out. But I used to watch Ray William Johnson, not so much anymore. The only person that I still really watch that's, I guess you can say, a big YouTuber that isn't a part of the anime community would have to be Peter Chow. Still find his stuff pretty good. For the anime community, I would definitely have to say King of Lightning. Pretty much almost everybody in the Cloud Village. Uber Akari, Manga Reader Z, Uber Blackman. All those guys' content is just, you can expect something different every time you watch their channel. It's not the same old. You know, they bring their own personality and variety to it. So
many people in, I think, the Cloud Village really do have their own personality, which is something I'm really proud of, and being part of that group again. I know we've already been talking about the Cloud Village, but I mean, everyone there makes some good content. And I'm going to be honest, I don't watch every single person's video in there all the time because, you know, I got a life outside the internet. But, yeah, you know, it's just when you got 14 people making videos, it's hard to follow every one of them. Imagine if just one of them, if they all made one video a week, that's 14 videos you got to watch. But
yeah, it's definitely hard keeping up.
But like people like Manga Reader Z, I think he's got a lot of great potential, and I hope he keeps making videos for a long time because he's funny. And, you know, I think he was sad because some of his views got hurt when he stopped doing manga reviews, but that's just the way it is right now. But he's got some great stuff, and I hope he keeps pushing through and making some good content.
Yeah, his comedy is definitely different from the norm. He's more of the sarcastic type of comedy, which we don't really see that much, especially in this community. So if, you know, all he has to do is keep pushing, and I'm pretty sure he'll thrive.
Yeah, man. And so check out Manga Reader Z, guys. Okay.
Yeah.
Jouten, you recently got partnered. Do you have any success tips for anyone to get partnered? And what's your story about becoming partnered?
Success tips? I mean, you definitely need to have a certain amount of views. The weird thing for me was I didn't have too many subscribers when I got partner, but I did have like a bunch of video views. I had maybe over 180,000 by the time I hit partner, and I only had like maybe 600, 700 subs. But in terms of my story, it's actually pretty weird because I applied for partnership. When was it? I applied for partnership around the summertime of last year. And I waited about a couple of days, and they got back to me and they said, okay, you apply for partnership, you know, you're able to go through. So I had to fill out this form, and I had just recently changed my my email to fit my YouTube screen name.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I gave them my old email because I was just like so excited, like a fool.
Yeah.
And And then I sent that in, and I'm like, oh, crap, I just sent them the wrong email. So I had to go through the process of actually telling them this is the wrong email and stuff like that. And they actually had me on hold for a really long time, for a couple of months. And I'm like, damn, I don't think I'll get a partner now. I have a really, really big sad face. And then coincidentally, on my birthday, it just came back to me. It was like, all right, now you're partner. I'm like, oh, shit, that's a great birthday gift.
Hell yeah, it is, man. I'd love to get partnered. It would be an awesome, thing to say you're being successful on YouTube if even YouTube itself grants you that ability.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, I didn't even know I was partner until Darius brought it up because we were checking each other's social blades, and Darius said you have YouTube partner on your social blade. I'm like, what? Because the whole mix-up and all YouTube told me was that I was able to monetize, and so I thought I was under the monetization, and then going for partner at some other time. So
how long were you?
Told me that.
How long were you sitting on your partnership before you realized it?
I was actually sitting on it for like maybe 2 months.
Damn.
Yeah.
2 months. Yeah. So you never noticed custom thumbnails or anything when you were uploading?
I thought honestly, because like I said, when I was in the Yu-Gi-Oh community, I was all by myself. So I was just getting into the Call Village at this time. So I was still kind of like used to, trying to figure things out by myself. Mm-hmm. So I thought when you get monetization, they give you the option to upload your thumbnails.
Oh, hell no, they don't.
I definitely know that now.
Yeah, I wish. Do you like using thumbnails? Have you seen it help your videos?
Oh, yeah, it definitely helps out the views a lot, definitely.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a very helpful tool, and you've seen like people like Sawyer and From Everworld be able to get a lot of views because of the thumbnails. Yeah,
like we were talking about before, it's just the visual appeal to certain things is what's able to attract people. So I usually try to make my title visually appealing, try to make it funny or interesting, and then the thumbnail.
Jouten, what's one of your favorite series out of the big three right now?
My favorite series out of the big three has to be Naruto. I don't read One Piece. It's just not my cup of tea. Kind of like how you don't read Bleach. I don't read One Piece.
Yeah. I get Bleach, it's sword fighting. It's cool, whatever, and I'm sure some people are like, it's pirates. It sounds crazy to do with anime. It's whatever. So I don't hold it against anyone. Like, I hate harem series. So if I really don't like harem series, I'm sure there's some people out there that don't like shonen series, and who am I to tell them they're wrong? Yeah,
definitely. For me, One Piece, I'm definitely really, really picky when it comes to series. I need a really well-drawn series, and One Piece just obviously doesn't fit that kind of,
No, I'm not trying to argue, but I definitely play devil's advocate and say One Piece's art has gotten a lot better over the years.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It definitely has gotten a lot better. I usually tune in to One Piece every now and then to keep informed of what's happening. Mm-hmm. Even though I don't read the series, I like to know what's going on. But I definitely seen an improvement of the art.
Naruto, since the time skip Shippuden, I've really liked that the artwork has seemed really consistent. And when, you can tell when Naruto's getting cheap, especially in the anime, because like the filler parts are kind of boring and the fights are really short. But when they do invest the time in the anime, oh my gosh, it looks great. And the same thing with the manga.
Yeah, I mean, that's, for me, I don't even watch any big three anime anymore. I just can't, because the fillers just kill me. And for Naruto, one of the really, really bad things about the Naruto anime is that if it's not a major fight, then they don't care about it. Like, for example, Kakashi versus Pain, that fight was poorly animated, in my opinion. Poorly animated.
And so much potential.
Yeah, exactly. It just could have been epic badass. And then, Naruto versus Pain, even though that animation wasn't the best compared to other fights, it was definitely eye candy.
Yeah, I almost get a little upset when people hate on that episode, because I think people misunderstand that the artwork wasn't to their liking, but not the animation, because the animation was beautiful. I mean, when Pain's jumping around and dodging Naruto's like chakra arms and like sliding up them and like going on top of that mountain and blocking all those energy blasts, it looks amazing. It looks amazing. Yeah. But then people want to point out those 5 seconds when Pain's face gets weird when he punches the ground. And I'm like, okay, that's 5 seconds, but I just showed you 5 minutes of amazing stuff. So why are you really hating on this episode? I don't really get it.
Yeah, that's definitely the one thing I have to give the Naruto anime. In every major fight since the first series, the original Naruto, the animation has been absolutely amazing, especially when it comes to the big fights. Like the first fight between Naruto and Sasuke, that's possibly like one of my favorite fights in all of Naruto anime. Amazing.
Yeah, it just shows you what that series is capable of. And that's one of the reasons why I do like Naruto anime a lot. But at the same time, you can even go to the Guy Kakashi fight, or not Kakashi, the Guy and Kisame fight. It in my opinion went too fast and wasn't that great, and it was sad because that fight could have been ridiculous. But because it's not flipping Naruto or Sasuke, they just don't give it the love they could have. And
yeah, exactly. I mean, I know the manga fights were relatively fast, so therefore the anime would be fast. But I mean, if these guys have no problem throwing, I don't know, 20 episode filler seasons at us right when things are getting interesting, I mean, they can extend the fight maybe 1 or 2 more episodes. I mean, it wouldn't kill them.
Yeah, it makes me mad because I'm not a huge fan of filler, but I am a fan of adding extra stuff to fights, which I don't necessarily consider a filler episode. It's just you're adding a little extra stuff to make the fight a little more interesting or show the power or the agility of these characters and, you know, like bring out the epicness of this fight a little more. But instead they're like, no, we'll just follow the manga exactly. Get this going. You know, keep it moving.
Basically pull the Dragon Ball Z, because Dragon Ball Z was just really good at doing that.
Yeah, it was great. Like the Vegeta and Goku fight the second time when they were both Super Saiyan 2s.
Right.
That was all added in the anime and not really in the manga. And that was great and exactly how some people should do it. But at the same time, it's expensive. So I guess I understand why they're doing it, but it still makes me sad that that's the way the business model works nowadays, making these animes.
Yeah, it's true. It is expensive, but I mean, it's kind of weird that Naruto is one of the biggest series in Japan. I would say second to One Piece, and they can't spend just a little bit more money on it to make the fans happy.
I mean, they're still going to make millions. Can you just
exactly. It's like if One Piece wasn't around, it'll be number one itself. So I mean, you could drop a little bit more money on it.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, it can't be that hard to make a flippin' orange ninja fight a little more, can it?
Exactly.
It just can't. RanmyakuJouten, thank you so much for coming to the interview today. Is there anything you want to leave our audience with?
Yeah, definitely. Guys, don't forget, it's Super Kami Guru and RanmyakuJouten. There is no such thing as coincidence, only inevitability.